right, well, this week for trending this week, Elon Musk sent out an email that riled the federal government employees up. Riled them up. He said, you are to respond to me with a 5-bullet point list of everything you accomplished at work this week. If you do not reply, I will take that as your resignation. And federal workers lost their ever-loving minds about it. Lost their minds about it. I saw someone on TikTok say that this must be what it's like to live in North Korea. Yes, North Korea is well known for mandating that its citizens reply to emails if they want to keep their job. That's the big human rights violation going on over there in North Korea. That's the big deal over there, right? I mean, look, guys, you could always just reply to the email, because all of you listening to this that work in the private sector, you can vouch this isn't that far out of the ordinary. Now, this particular email right here may be a little bit blunt. Oh, sorry. Click on the Elon email one. I'm on the wrong. We're on the wrong. Yeah, there it is. This may be a little bit blunt, but it's the truth. This is how we have to operate in the private sector. And I'm not doing it from the mindset of, oh, I have to do it, so you do too. No, that's not it. There's a reason they do this. Most companies don't do things for funsies, right? They don't do process things like this for funsies. They do it because it works. They want to know if their employees are getting shit done at work. And if you really, I tell you what, if you really can't think of 5 things you did at work this week, maybe we don't need your job. Also, if one email can cause you this much stress, maybe you're not cut out for this work. Maybe you need to go do something else. If getting an email saying, hey, what did you get done this week, can bring you guys to the point where you get this emotional and this upset, maybe you're in the wrong field. Am I off the base here? I'm like, what am I doing? What are we doing? It's an email, and I understand not everyone can reply directly to it. Some of them need to reply to their superiors because there's classified stuff that can't be sent out. I get that. I understand there are some roles where they can't do it. But that's how it should have been addressed. Spurging out and melting down because you're finally being held accountable for the first time in your life is not the way to go about this. I mean, and that's really what it is. And I would never say that all federal government employees are worthless. I don't even think most of them are. But there's enough of them that it's obviously a problem. And you've got enough people that have been doing nothing for so long unchecked that it's causing this type of reaction. Think about it this way. This is the level of entitlement you're seeing from some of these people. They can't believe that you, the taxpayer, have the audacity to want to know if your tax dollars are being well spent. How dare you? What's the matter with you? I love the double standard for how the left's freaking out about this. So when Joe Biden told all the federal employees and federal contractors that if you don't take the COVID vaccine, you're fired, they thought that was a good thing. But when Donald Trump says, hey, if you don't do your job, you're fired, that's a bad thing. So fired for doing your job, bad. Fired for not taking the experimental poison vaccine, good. Just so we're clear here. I think what you're seeing here, I think the reason so many of them are having such a harsh reaction to this is I don't think a lot of these people actually thought this was coming, because this is my thing. I feel bad for people on the micro level. I don't want to see anybody lose their job and or have to worry about losing their job and wondering how they're going to pay their bills. I don't like see, because we've all been there and it sucks. I don't want to see that. But on the macro level, all these people that are freaking out, it's kind of hard to feel bad for you guys, because he said before the election, we're going to cut the government. We're going to reduce the size of the federal government. Hello, reducing the size of the federal government involves cutting jobs. And then after he got elected, when he got sworn in, he said, hey, I'm really going to do it. I'm really going to reduce the size of the federal government. And in fact, I'm so intent on reducing the size of the federal government that if you resign right now, I'll give you 8 months worth of pay. And they stayed. And now they're saying, hey, we're going to cut the size of the federal government by 30 to 40% in March. You're probably going to get fired. There's a good chance. And they can't believe it. You guys have been warned so many times. If I stand on train tracks, eventually the train's going to hit me. I mean, these guys, they went to the train tracks. They stood on them. Somebody drove by, said, hey, probably not a good idea to be standing there. Those are train tracks and they're live. And they turned around and went, no, the train's not coming. And they got comfortable there. They sat down and they set up a little picnic on the train tracks. And then another car drives by. He goes, hey, there's a train like 5 miles away. There's no stops between here and there. It's coming. Oh, no, I'll be fine. It's not going to hit me. Because they're so used to politicians not following through on their word. They finally got one who was going to. And then all of a sudden, the railroad crossing fences go down. The lights start flashing. The tracks raise up. And somebody sees them sitting there enjoying their peanut butter sandwich. And they're like, hey, man, you better get off the tracks because the train's coming. It's almost here. Oh, stop it. The train, this is bullshit. This is theatrics. The train's not coming. They're full of shit. The railroad lies all the time. They're not coming. Now, all of a sudden, they're looking right down the barrel of a train. Looking right down the tracks, and there's a train coming right for them. You know, there's an old saying about a guy in a flood. House starts flooding. Neighbor drives up to his house, goes like, come on, or there's a hurricane, right? And whole city's flooding, or it's under flood warning. Neighbor says, hey, man, hop in the car. I'll take you home, or I'll take you over to my aunt's house 3 hours north of here. You'll be safe. No. God will save me. God will save me. And then the first level of his house floods, and he goes up to the second floor. Somebody comes by in a boat, a rescue boat. They're like, come on, hop in. Let's go. And he goes, no. God will save me. And the second floor floods. He's up on his roof. Helicopter comes by. Says, come on, dude, get in. He goes, no. God will save me. Then it gets up to his neck, and he drowns. And he gets to heaven, and he's all pissed off at God. He's like, why did you let me drown? God's like, what are you talking about? I didn't let you drown. I sent you a car, a boat, and a helicopter. You didn't take any of them. You let yourself drown. That's what this is. You've had the car, you've had the boat, you've had the helicopter. Now the flood's at your neck. And this is a result of politicians not keeping their promises. So I think unless you were like us, which many people weren't, and you were looking at it impartially, seeing where the money was getting spent, seeing the poll trends and where these people were campaigning at, I think a lot of these people were totally blindsided. They thought, no way in a million years is he going to win. And if he does, it'll be just like it was in 2016 where he can't keep most of his promises. Well, here you are. Here you are. And it sucks that people are going to have to go through this. But the sympathy levels are minimized because you've had so many chances now. And here's the thing, guys. When this isn't anything revolutionary or new, what Trump's doing with the federal government. When Bill Clinton took over, he reduced the size of the federal government, or reduced federal employment, by almost 20%. And guess what? It worked. They had a booming private sector. It was the last time this country actually had a surplus in the budget rather than a deficit. Inflation was relatively low. It worked. Then Bush took over, and him and Obama just went on this 16-year spending spree like they were spoiled teenagers with dad's credit card, and got us into this hole. And Biden is to blame for a lot of this too, because all the job growth that Biden has bragged about, or that he did brag about when he was in office, nearly 80% of that job growth was federal employees. They were just making up jobs to give to people to keep the unemployment rate low. And that's disgusting. That's disgusting. They were manipulating the unemployment rate by just making up jobs for people who weren't doing a full day's work. They were work from home 24/7. They had nothing. They didn't have any responsibilities. Biden wanted to give people $50,000 to $60,000 a year jobs with great benefits on the taxpayer's dime so he could say, look at our unemployment levels. Biden played a major role in this. Biden led a lot of people on and made a lot of empty promises that were inevitably going to come back to bite him in the ass. And he's to blame for a lot of this too. It's like I said last week, guys, this is the shock therapy. You were told in 2016 to start eating healthier and start moving around more, and you did it for a while. And then in 2020, you went back to your old ways. And in 2024, you had the heart attack finally. And the shock therapy, the open heart surgery, it's not fun. And yeah, it's a little risky, but it's necessary. And hopefully, if you stick to it, you're going to come out better on the other side. But after that, you got to make some real lifestyle changes. No more eating like shit. No more smoking. You got to start going to the gym. You missed the opportunity to live healthy and manage your condition or outright cure it with lifestyle changes. This is where we're at now. This has to happen. We're ripping the bandage off. It's time. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, be sure to click the link in the description to get the full episode on Rumble. If you prefer to listen along, you could actually get us on Spotify, Spreaker, and iHeartRadio. You can also go to www.outlawstreamers.com to learn more about not just my show, but tons of other great shows and all the exciting projects they have coming up. Follow my socials at Caleb Isn't Funny on Twitter and Instagram, at Caleb Salvatore Comedy on the Chinese Spy app that is TikTok, and be sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thanks, and we'll see you every Saturday for brand new episodes of That's Based. Peace.